Hello everyone, this is Moni and today we're talking about Feng Shui nightmares, bad directions. I am a Feng Shui consultant and teacher, and what I do is I help people turn their current homes into their dream homes so they can live their dream lives. So today I want to talk to you about I want to share with you two nightmare stories about people using Compass School Feng Shui. So in case you don't know it, I do not recommend that you use Compass School Feng Shui. But these two stories come from Compass School. So the first story I'm going to share with you is about how a Feng Shui consultant of Compass School almost ruined a life of a young woman. And so this was a gal, she was 19 years old, and she was going to college, and she lived with her mother. And so they hired me to do a Feng Shui consultation. This was way back in the day when I was probably my first or second year as a consultant. So they hired me to do a consultation, and I went to their place. And it was a cottage, a two-bedroom cottage, and I really liked it. And they had good taste, let's put it that way, this mom and daughter. So today we're talking about Feng Shui nightmare stories, right? And my first story is about this mom and daughter that hired me to do the Feng Shui consultation of their home. So when I first go into a home, I ask people to show me around, so they showed me the front yard, this is the living room, this is the dining room, this is the kitchen, these are the bedrooms. And so when they opened the bedroom to this young woman's, the door to this young woman's bedroom, it was chaos. You could hardly open the door would get stuck. The floor was completely covered in clutter. The bed was covered in clutter. The dressers, the tables, everything, was a mountain of stuff. And so I asked her, how do you even sleep here? And she said, oh, I don't sleep there anymore. And I'm like, why don't you sleep in your bedroom? And she says, oh, I sleep in the sofa because we had hired this other Feng Shui consultant, and she came in with her compass and she did the directions, and she told me by my birth date that my bedroom was in a really bad location for me, a location of death and disaster. And so she said the bedroom was so bad for me that I should only go in there to sleep. And then she said that the room was so bad for me that, like, for another $300 fee, she could just do the Feng Shui of her bedroom as if the bedroom was a home of its own. And so this girl had become so afraid of her own bedroom, because this Feng Shui consultant told her, according to the magnetic compass and her birth year, this was a bad direction for her, that she started sleeping in the couch, and she started avoiding going in the bedroom. So whenever she needed to put something in the bedroom, she'd just stand at the door and throw things in the bedroom and they fall where they may. And so I told her, this is not good. This is not positive. You cannot live like this. And so after I had walked around the home with a mom and give her some Feng Shui suggestions for the rest of the home, I said, okay, we're going to work on decluttering in your bedroom. You could literally not walk in that bedroom. I had to put one of my shoes in, kick to the sides to make room to walk in that bedroom. And so I had to do that with one foot, then move my other foot forward, kick things aside so I could step on the bedroom of this 19-year-old woman. And so one of the things I do when I help people declutter is I help them identify categories of things. And so people don't pick up one item and decide what to do with that item. I teach them to identify all the categories of items. And so one thing that I noticed, one of the first things I noticed when we were working in her bedroom was that she had a lot of blue jeans. Oh, and by the way, if clutter is a problem for you, write in the comments, I have a problem with clutter, or I want to declutter, or I want to get rid of clutter, and I will send you a link to a free mini email course on decluttering that people rave about. And so if you have a problem with clutter, mention it in the comments, and I'll send you that link to that free mini course. And so I counted, I said, okay, let's gather all of the blue jeans. And so we counted 18 blue jeans. And 12 of those blue jeans were the exact same model in the exact same size. Now, let me ask you, who needs 18 pairs of blue jeans when the week only has 7 days? And when you're living in Mississippi, where it's so hot for 9 months out of the year, it's too hot to wear blue jeans, let me put it that way. And so I asked her, how many blue jeans do you actually think you need to keep? And she said, well, I think 4. And I said, okay, let's choose the ones that fit you right now and that you like the best. And so she set aside the 4 blue jeans, and then she put the rest in a large plastic trash bag to donate, right? And so then I noticed that there were also tons of t-shirts, white, oversized t-shirts with writing on them or with logos from companies, because she liked to go to events and fairs, and she'd always get the t-shirt, like those places where they give you a free t-shirt, or you pay $1, $3, $5 to get a t-shirt. And so there were like 30 of those in her bedroom. And so I said, okay, let's pick up all the t-shirts. And I had her notice, because she was wearing a t-shirt just like that at that moment. And so I told her, do you like the way you look when you wear this t-shirt? And she really didn't have, that she was overweight. This is one thing that had happened after this Compass School consultant came to her home and told her her bedroom was a bad direction for her. She had started gaining weight. And so I told her, do you like the way that a t-shirt fits on you? And she said, no. And she was kind of, she was short. And so when she put on a t-shirt, she kind of looked like SpongeBob SquarePants. It made her look square. And I said, if you don't love t-shirts, if you don't like the way you look with t-shirts, let's do something else. Also, most of these t-shirts were white or whitish with writings and logos on them. A lot of those logos and writings were about junk food. It was like sodas or fast food companies, so wearing those t-shirts made her want more snacks, more junk food. And so I said, she was blonde, her hair was a little reddish, and she was freckled, and so a white t-shirt made her look pale. And so I said, okay, let's let go of all these t-shirts with writing on them. And I actually said, I probably think that, living in a place like Mississippi, you might do better with tank tops than t-shirts. And she said, oh, I love tank tops. And she actually had a few nice tank tops. And so she put all of the t-shirts, it was about 30 t-shirts, in a bag to go donate. And so when we were done with her, looking at the categories of things that she had, identifying trash, throwing out the trash, identifying clothes that could be used as rags, and I told her, any clothes that you identify that you could use as rags, you need to get a pair of scissors and cut them right away so that you don't feel tempted to put them back on. Any piece of clothing that you could use as a rag, do not put it on your body. And so we ended, our 2-hour session with piles of things in her bedroom, and now she could walk through her bedroom. Her bed was clear, so for that night, for the first time in a long time, she was able to sleep on her bed. So we're talking about this 19-year-old woman her luck was ruined by a Compass School practitioner. This is a Feng Shui nightmare story. And so after we had done all that, I said, okay, try sleeping in your bedroom again and continue decluttering. I gave her homework and guidelines. And at the end of the week, she took 14 of those humongous black hefty trash bags with things that she took out of her bedroom to the Goodwill. Now, I want you to visualize this. Imagine a bedroom that is 10 by 12 feet in area, right? And imagine stuffing things in that bedroom so that you could take 14 bags of things that are clutter to you to the Goodwill. That's how much clutter she had kept. And again, if you suffer from clutter, put it in the comments so that I can send you a link to a free email course on decluttering. And so this gal, I also told her, how about in the future, only wear clothes that fit you right now. Don't wear these oversized clothes anymore trying to hide your weight, because they encourage you to gain weight. If you're wearing clothes that are bigger than you, it's like a subconscious message to fill up the clothes, right? And so I said, okay, let go of all the clothes that don't fit you right now because they're too small, because you used to fit them and you don't fit them anymore. Let go of all the clothes that are too big for you. And in the future, I want you to only wear clothes that look really good on you, that you love, and that feel like a caress to your body. Don't wear anything that has things that make you itch or scratch. And so she did. So shortly after this consultation with this mom and daughter, I moved away from Mississippi, and I came back in 6 months to visit. And so one of the things they wanted me to do was to come and review their feng shui. And I went to their home, and I almost did not recognize this gal. She had lost 20 pounds. And I asked her, and I told her, "You look great. What did you do to lose all this weight?" And she said, "Nothing I'm aware of. But once I started dressing up nicer, I noticed I didn't feel the compulsion to eat anymore, and I didn't feel like going to junk food places so often. But I have not been on a diet. I have not been trying to eat less. I just noticed that I wasn't feeling like eating all the time anymore." And I was so impressed, that I started using that with other clients, that one of their issues was being overweight. And so I would tell them, like, give them the same guidelines to declutter their closet. And a lot of my clients and students, just by doing that, and they lost some weight. And so, by the way, if weight is an issue for you, if you would like to lose weight, I want to let you know I have a program. It's called a Feng Shui Journey for Weight Loss, where you can make your home become that best friend forever that gives you good advice and that helps you control your cravings so that you can lose the weight. And so if weight issues are something that you struggle with, write it in the comments and say, "I would like my home to help me lose weight. I would like my home to help me lose weight." So do that, and I'll send you a link and the information to this program. And so that was one of the stories I wanted to share with you. So her transformation, she had gotten a much nicer haircut, and she was wearing clothes that were absolutely beautiful. She was wearing some slacks, some white slacks, and some very nice linen, and a shirt made of silk, a blouse made of silk with embroidery. I mean, she looked gorgeous. And when I looked at her closet, all her clothes were like that. She only allowed beautiful clothes in her closet. And she also had realized, she was very unhappy before because she was trying to go through college, do the normal, regular thing, and study a career she wasn't even interested in. And so after we did the Feng Shui consultation, it became unbearable for her to be in college because she was more in contact with her own authenticity and who she wanted to be. So she quit college. And when she first told me she quit college, I'm like, "I didn't want you to quit college." And she said, no. I'm now studying massage therapy, and I love it. And so she actually, she completed her massage therapy training, and she's been in practice for many, many years now. And so that's the first Feng Shui nightmare story that I wanted to share with you. And this is about bad directions. What Compass School consultants do to ruin the lives of their clients by convincing them that a particular direction is bad for them. The second story I want to share with you was about a family. It was the husband, the wife, and the two beautiful boys. And so this gal also had trusted a Feng Shui consultant of Compass School. And after doing all the calculations with the compass and the birthdays and numerology, it turned out that her house was facing a bad direction for her. She became so obsessed with this idea that her house was in a bad direction for her that she started making bad decisions, and the house kind of became bad for her. But it was not because of the Feng Shui, it was because of the bad decisions. And so when I went to her house, I did notice there was an issue. The street level was a little bit higher than their front door. So when you stepped onto her curb, you had to go down a path to reach her main door. That's a Feng Shui problem. Now, if you have that, if the entrance door to your house is lower than the street, say that in the comments. Say my front door is lower than the street, and I'll send you a link so that you can schedule a free orientation meeting with me, so that I can give you options as to what kinds of services you could do, or what kind of courses you could take to correct that. And so if your door is lower than your street, write down in the comments that, and I'll get in touch with you, and I'll send you the links you need. And so, and I told her, the only real feng shui issue with this house is that the front yard goes down from the street. That's the only real issue. And so she would not let go of the idea that the house was unlucky for her. And I said, okay, so what is your evidence that this house is unlucky for you? And she said, I lost a child here. And so she had been pregnant with a baby girl, and she lost the pregnancy, and it was kind of advanced when that happened. And she was devastated. And so I asked her, so, but you have two beautiful boys now, what did you do? And she said she went to the doctor, and she told the doctor, I want you to examine me from head to toes and tell me what's going on with me. Is there a problem in my body that I don't want to have kids because I don't never want to do this again? Now that was a very good reaction for her to have, to find out for real what happens, why she lost the baby. And so the doctors did some studies in her, and they found that there was a congenital problem with her womb. It was a problem she was born with. So they did a surgery on her to correct that problem. And after she recovered from the surgery, she was able to get pregnant twice and have two beautiful boys. And so I told her, your house had nothing to do with you losing the baby. That was something physical that was in your body. It didn't matter what house you lived in. This would have happened. Your body was unable to carry a pregnancy full term, right? But you made the right decision. And for a person to make the right decisions, that means that the overall feng shui of their home is probably good. Because one of the things that are affected for people is that they make bad decisions when the feng shui is bad. And so we talked about this, and she started seeing reason. She said like, okay, I can see that. And I told her, don't focus on the bad things that happen in this home, but think about all the good things that have happened. And so she was an executive in a company, the manager, right, in a company that was famous for not hiring women very much. And so she had moved up the ranks, and she was doing really well. The house had been really good for her and her husband in many, many ways. But I noticed, after talking with her like a month later, I noticed that she was still not convinced that the house was good for her, that it was not unlucky for her because of what this compass school consultant had convinced her, that the house was bad for her because of the direction it faced compared to her birth year. And so I said, okay, I'll tell you what, you just keep working on the feng shui of your home, keep going down the tasks that I gave you, keep making all these improvements, and in the house, it's going to become luckier and luckier and luckier for you. And so over time, it was just maybe 6 months after that. And by the way, I see a lot of changes when I work with clients in consultations. There's usually a sign within 7 to 11 days. There's a sign that things are going to improve in whatever life area was bothering them. But I also have seen like it's about 6 months later, when the good positive energy in the home has accumulated, that's when you see the most significant changes. And so about 6 months later, she got a promotion. And so this promotion included moving to another state. And she suffered, she had been born in the south, and she was living up north, and she suffered from the cold, and she was very unhappy about that. And so she got this promotion to move to a home in not a southern state, but south from where she was. So the winters were not going to be as bad as when it was going to be warmer. So she's very happy about that. And this time I told her, make sure that you do not buy a home where the front door is lower than the street. And so now I gave her some guidelines of what to look for a home, and she found a home that was really good for her. So those were the two feng shui horror stories I wanted to share with you today. So one of them is a woman, who had been made afraid to go into her own bedroom, and from then on, her fear made things go bad for her. And then the other story was about this woman that believed the whole house was bad luck for her, and was unable to see that actually very good things had happened. And she was associating something that happened that was bad with the house when it didn't have anything to do with the house. But the type of feng shui I practice is not compass school. It's part of form school, and I have developed a system called the 9 Steps to Feng Shui system, that works every time. In all clients, all my students have improvement. And so I want to invite you, if you think that you might benefit from a Feng Shui consultation, tell me. I'm interested in a Feng Shui consultation. Put that in the comments and I'll get in touch with you and I'll send you a link where you can actually schedule yourself for a free 20-minute orientation with me so we can have a conversation and see, what kinds of services, courses, programs, or books would be the best for you depending on your circumstances and the things that are going on in your life. So I love meeting with people. Do not feel self-conscious at all. It has no strings attached. It's just I set up some time every week. I just set up some time to meet with people and talk about Feng Shui and hopefully inspire them to take steps to improve their lives. And so that's what I wanted to share with you, these two stories. I will have more Feng Shui nightmare stories. I'm going to have another video where I'm going to talk about the terrible advice that Compass School consultants give people on colors. And I'm going to have another one where I'm going to talk about the terrible advice that people from Feng Shui Compass School give to their clients about how to correct issues with the 5 elements. So this is the first video in a series of 3. And so thank you for watching, and make sure to write down your questions. Remember, if you are struggling with clutter, let me know and I'll send you a link to a free course on decluttering. If you're struggling with weight, let me know about that. Tell me, I want my home to help me lose weight, and I'll give you more information about that. And if you think you might want a Feng Shui consultation, I'll send you the link where you can schedule a 20-minute meeting with me. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to react to this video. Remember to comment, to like, and to share so that more of your friends can be blessed by Feng Shui. Goodbye.